Greetings and salutations, Charlton66 here once again with another video. And as always, I hope everyone's doing well. Good morning to everyone. This is going to be a video response to a tag from Metarog Roger. It's really started by Tim Comic Collector. Started a 25 question. Are you a comic nerd? 25 questions and see how you would score. I didn't score as high as I thought I would score because some of the questions are trolling and getting into physical altercations over comic books. They were cool questions, but I'm gonna go over the questions here and I'll tag some people at the end. But the first question, I had to write everything down. I can't. Like 64-page special, when he did his response, he put all the questions up and answered them, and I'm not that savvy yet on the computer. It's one of the things I like to learn how to do some good editing on the YouTube. But I digress. First question: are you a comic book nerd? Is the 25 answer 25 questions. Have you ever nitpicked over a book over its condition? Absolutely. I'm more nitpicky now than I was when I was younger. When I first started collecting in the 70s, comic book were cheaper. People weren't speculating. Comic books were, you bought what you had. The prices were affordable. I remember paying like $20 for an Iron Man #1, and I can very fine. There were some early issues of Tales of Suspense that I bought cheap. I mean, it was different then, but I'm more nitpicking than I was back in the early times of collecting. Number two, have you ever sniped anyone on eBay? I'm not an eBay person anymore. I used to be years ago. So the answer to the question is yes. I did snipe people on eBay. Sometimes they drew first blood, and I had to answer in kind. Obviously, if it was down to the last second, nothing I can do about it. But yes, I have sniped on eBay. Have you ever paid over $100 for a book or gone over budget? I've never gone over budget. I budget myself in my comic book collecting. But yes, I've paid over $100 for a comic book. I've talked about it here before on YouTube. Going over budget, no. I set a set of money aside. That's what I go by, and I've been pretty good with that. I got other things I got to concern myself with. So yeah, I paid over $100 for a comic book. Have you ever complained about speculating and flipping? Yes, I have complained. Good-heartedness about the whole thing, I understand, is a collectible. What I don't understand, people buying things and not reading them, buying things just for a cover. That's something I just don't understand. Again, to each their own. I'm not saying they're wrong in anything like that, but I just don't get it. Paying the kind of money people pay to have a cover, I I don't understand that. But again, they're a collectible. To each their own. But yeah, I have complained about speculating and flipping. Um, I don't know how people have time for it. I really don't. Quickly getting the book that's hot, hurry up, trying to find a seller, flip the book, make some money off of it, and do it again. That's way time consuming. I guess I don't have the. I guess I'm too old. Don't have the patience for it, or I just don't. I just don't see it. I'd rather get with older books and deal with older books, and that way where the prices are not crazy up and down, and you have to hurry up and get rid of that book, or you're gonna lose money on it. Older books retain their value, and I understand the older books. Anyway, have you ever received or have you ever given or received comic books as a gift? Absolutely. I love giving comic books related stuff as gifts. Um, my childhood friend John, we still give comic books to each other for the holidays, birthdays, and whatnot. We've known each other since we were in seventh grade, and we still collect. And absolutely, I've received books as gifts, and I've given comic book related stuff and comic books as gifts. As an adult, have you ever decorated your home in comic book paraphernalia? Absolutely. I've got a whole room in my house dedicated to my collection. That's the only room that I have decorated, though. Um, Nothing goes out past past these four walls. I like having everything inside in my room. Um, have you ever skipped work or to buy or read a comic book? To buy or read comics? No. Have you ever paid to go to a con? Absolutely. Love going to cons. There's one this weekend I'm going to go to. The big one for me every year, which anyone who's familiar with my channel knows, Baltimore is a big con for me. I save up for every year. So absolutely, I've paid going to a con. Have you ever paid to get an autograph, photo, or sketch? Yes. Got to pay to play. I've paid more to getting sketches and drawings than I have to pay to get a signature. The only person within recent memory that I paid to get an autograph, other than donating, like they'll say, they'll sign your comic books, and if you want to put, whatever you can in the kitty for whatever charity that they're given. I'm not really counting that per se, but Steranko is what I paid the most for, and that was just at last year's Baltimore year before last Baltimore Con. I've never paid for any photos. Have you ever bought multiple copies of a book? Yes. I don't do that anymore. I did it when I was younger. The last thing I did was Spider-Man. The black costume was at 252. Was I think the last thing I bought multiple copies of. I've not done that since. Have you ever bought multiple covers of a book? Yes, I bought. The last one I bought was I can't remember, but it had photo covers, artwork covers, and I love the movie. It's a Hammer film. Um, oh man, it's Vampire Hunter. I should have. I had it in my head when I wrote the question down, and now I can't remember what it is. Anyway, that was the one that I had bought covers to because there was stills from the movies, which I was a fan of the movie, and artwork by Tom Mandrake, which I really love his work. I did buy that. Have you ever where am I at? Classic covers. Have you ever? Hold on, I'm sorry. Bought multiple copies of a book. Yes. Number 12. Have you ever complained that you need to downsize your collection for space? Absolutely. I've got probably in the basement mm, 12 to 15 long boxes that I like to get into comic book con circuit here locally and just have 50-cent dollar comics, make money to buy bigger books and that kind of stuff. So yeah, absolutely, I have complained and I needed to downsize. Have you ever sent a book in for grading? No. Have you ever sent a book in for cleaning or pressing? No. Have you ever bought chases, store exclusives? No. Have you ever traded comics? Absolutely. Love trading comics. Um, Used to do it a lot when I was younger. It was like first come, first serve the comic book store. You bought something someone else wanted. You end up trading for it, that kind of stuff. Love trading comics. I still do. There's dealers that I trade with, and I'll do it at a drop of a hat if they got something I really want. Love trading comics. Have you ever waited to get tickets for a comic book movie? No. Have you ever gotten into a fist fight or physical altercation because of comics? No. And that's kind of a funny question to me. I laugh because I find that the comic book community is a more calm uh, they have more calm demeanor than a lot of the hobbies or people who are into certain things like sports or that type of stuff. You go to a comic book convention, a big con, people are bumping into each other. There's excuse me, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get in your way. People are cognizant of their surroundings and their environment, and they're very they're very friendly, and I've never been in a predicament where I've wanted to get into a fight with anybody. But I'm sure it's happened. The question wouldn't have been here. Have you ever trolled online or gotten to a post-war over comics? No, I haven't. I've not done that. Don't have the time. I think it's kind of pointless because it's not like we can have a discussion, an argument face to face where we agree to disagree. It's a different animal altogether, so I would never involve myself with that. Have you ever dressed up as an adult as a comic book character? No, I have not. A, I don't have the physique for it. B, I want, when people do cosplay, to me, they should look like the character stepped out of the pages. It's a great. There's a picture that went around many years ago where it showed Wonder Woman and Flash, two cosplayers kneeling down to talk to a little boy. They looked just like they stepped out of the comic book. It was phenomenal. It's a great picture, and I don't know if other people have seen it or not, but it's a wonderful snapshot of our community, and the Wonder Woman looked just like Wonder Woman to me anyway, and the Flash, very good cosplay. They look really cool, kneeling down talking to the little boy, and that's the type of cosplay that I like to see. Me, I can't do it. I want to look like the character, and there's no character except for maybe, I don't know, Willie Lumpkin, the mailman. I don't know, FS Mailman. I'll go as Willie Lumpkin, but no, I've never dressed up. That was question 20. Under 21, have you ever lied about collecting comics? Absolutely not. Back when us older guys, when we were collecting back in the 70s, and some people earlier in the 60s and whatnot, there was a stigma attached to people who collect comic books. It's not like it is now, where you're cool, you're hip because you're into the Marvel movies. You're cool, you're hip because you're wearing a cool T-shirt that's from the movie. It's not like that it was not like that back then. So I said it loud, said it proud. I collected comic books. We traded in school, and I remember trading comics in junior high school and high school. Never had a problem with it. Loved it. I've never lied about collecting comic books. Have you ever flipped or spec'd on a book? No. Like I said, I don't see how people have the time for it. It's very time consuming, I would think. But again, that's just me. Have you ever bought a figure or statue of comic book characters? Absolutely. I've got my statues, and not even all of my statues and action figures there. I've got much more that I can't display at the moment that are stored away that I would love to honestly get more space to display the collection. Have you ever cried or gotten angry over a comic book? Absolutely. I don't remember the Conan book, but it's with the white elephant, where he's a space alien and he's captured, and Conan comes across him. Very sad story. Still brings a tear to my eye every time I read it. I think it's number 6 or number 9. I don't have it handy. I should have pulled it before I did the video, and I forgot to. Oh, my cat just walked in. Hi, Clementine. That one, and of course, my favorite comic book of all time, What If number 3, What If the Avengers Had Never Been. Phenomenal comic book. If that was a comic book I would give to someone who needs to know about comic books, that's what I would give to them. Anyway, I have cried or not gotten angry, but I have teared up over a comic book. I say, it is what it is. Do you have a comic book related tattoo? No, I do not. I was never thought about it. Don't want to have one. Oh, by the way, I can't remember if I mentioned, but I was tagged by Roger Metarog. He's the one who tagged me. I can't remember if I mentioned it at the beginning of the video or not. So those are lots of the questions. Went through the questions, scored a 13 out of 25. So I didn't do that well, but it was fun. I loved doing this. It was a cool tag. Thanks, Roger. And before I leave the video, I want to tag Mr. Rigamortis86, Rag718, and my man Night Tiger Comics. Tagging you guys, for all you comic book nerd, for the 25 questions. All right, you guys take care. Enjoy the video, And see you around. Hope good comments. Hope I get some good comments. And if anyone remembers that movie, the Hammer film I'm talking about, please put in the comments. I have to look it up. I don't want to go downstairs and dig to the DVDs or my collection, but I can't remember the name of that film. But if you remember what it is, throw in the comments. Thanks, guys.